What have you learned from your experiences bringing World of Tanks to esports?
You know, it's been an interesting road trying to bring, we've kind of done something new. You know, no one's ever taken a title that didn't have a real long history of esports behind it, like say a StarCraft or a League of Legends, and bring that kind of to the esports scene. So it's been a rough road, but it's been kind of a fun road, and our game was naturally competitive. So while it was difficult, it fell fairly naturally, and kind of some of the biggest takeaways that we took from that are, you know, it's really about the game and what the game is in of itself. If it's already competitive, naturally competitive, like some of the games I just mentioned, like World of Tanks, then there's really not much to do. You almost just build a structure around which your community builds this esports thing, you know, in of itself. And your responsibility, or the best thing that you can possibly do, is just help to foster that natural growth that's already there around a competitively designed game.
You mentioned games like Call of Duty and League of Legends. What have you learned from those games that helped you in the other esports tournaments?
It really depends, you know. Applying each one of those have different aspects. We're kind of an odd mix of strategy, RPG, MMO, and so there are different aspects that we learn from each of those. We also actually interact fairly closely with some of those other companies, so they kind of share some best practices with us. We share them with them. So there's actually a lot that we learned, so much I couldn't really cover it, whether it's just logistics, you know, sheer logistics, or data gathering, what the actual ROI is, figuring that out, determining, you know, is it just CCU growth afterwards? Is it new registrants? Is it engagement? It's really all of the above, and how you measure that, etc. So pretty much everything.
You were recently in Poland. What was that experience like for the finals?
That was a great experience, both for us as a company and me personally. I actually grew up in Warsaw, Poland. It was kind of my first pick and my suggestion for the grand finals location. So selfishly, I enjoyed it a lot. But for the company, it was great. You know, Poland has a huge concentration of players for us. The infrastructure is also there. The technology is there. So it was a huge success for us. You know, we had, I believe it was around 12,000 people through the venue in those few days. Massive lines out the front door. It was a wonderful venue, beautiful theater. So we really liked the results of that event. And we did some crazy things like branding basically one of their biggest national monuments in the center of Warsaw. We did some really cool, like, 40-foot logos on that and stuff. That was pretty amazing.
How have you fine-tuned World of Tanks to cater specifically to esports?
You know, most of that has been around introducing new game modes. We introduced a 7x7 sort of system into the game, which is our standard esports format, if you will. We also run regular community tournaments that are designed to, you know, not just for the pros, if you will, but the amateurs, the people that may be interested or that want that next competitive level. We kind of focus on that a lot.
What's new for Season 4 of the tournament?
Most of what we focused on is kind of tightening the nuts and bolts, so to speak, making everything smoother. We have introduced a few new graphical elements, etc., a few new rules and regulations, mostly in the fine print, so to speak, you know, small details that aren't extremely relevant to a viewer. And again, that's just to make everything smoother, bring down time in between matches, things like that, to make it a more seamless viewer experience. Make sure that structure the rules such that there's engagement going on all the time for the viewers. So most of what we've done has been focused around that. It's hard to put a finger on like one thing and say we've made this particular change. Most of them are pretty small changes, to be fair, but it's, again, with that overarching theme of tightening the show itself to make it more viewer appealing.
How has the prize pool increased?
The prize pool has actually remained about the same from year to year. The grand final prize pool has changed a little bit, but I can't really release any of that information at the moment. The actual season-to-season prize pool is basically the same. There'll be some structural differences, but it's for the most part the same throughout the year, if you will. because we haven't seen a need yet to necessarily increase that. I think prize pools are often, it's one of those things you can increase, and it makes it's good publicity, but it's not really necessary for the growth of the scene. Most of these teams, that's not their primary source of income anyways at the end of the day. It's through sponsorships or what have you. So it's not a crucial piece. It's cool, and we certainly we're open to that, but it's not an absolutely crucial piece to the puzzle, so to speak.